Oh my goodness, dude. I've been waiting for this one for a while. This guy, he's been circling around Matt Manero. With him and I've been kind of running around in the same circles here and there, but never had a chance to really sit down and get to know each other. But we're going to do it today, and you're going to get to witness it, and it's going to be absolutely spectacular. Let's go!
Good morning and welcome to Hashtag Rise and Grind. I am your host, Glenn Lundy. I am a husband to one, a father to seven, and the creator of what is going to be the #1 most watched morning show in the world. It is 5:30 a.m. and I hope that you are ready to rise and grind.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? Today is, what is today? Today is Friday, October 11th, 2019. That's right, Friday, October 11th, 2019. And what's crazy is today is the very first and the very last time it'll ever be Friday, October 11th, 2019. So I want to make sure we make the absolute most of this absolutely incredible day. Are you guys ready? Dude, I am so excited. Here in just a moment, I'm going to bring on this gentleman named Matt Manero, dude. From humble beginnings to a leader of 4 companies and over $1 billion, this guy has been able to generate. It's going to be absolute fire. What a fitting end to what's been a powerful, incredibly powerful week. You see, we started off this week by looking at this crazy stat about divorce, right? And the very first marriages, the divorce rate is 42%. On second marriages, it goes to 60%. And on third marriages, it goes to 73%. And I read this and I just thought, this is crazy. You would think it would be the other way around, right? You would think after the first marriage, we learned what we did wrong, so the second marriage would be stronger and less divorce, and third marriages would be stronger and less divorce, but it's backwards. And so we started to dive in this week, like, why is that? And we came to the conclusion, the reality is that the reason the divorce rate increases is once we give ourselves permission to quit, once we give ourselves permission to drop the commitment that we made, it gets easier to do so, right? It just continues to get easier to do so. So that sparked an amazing series this weekend. This week we talked about marrying our dreams, full on, for richer or poorer, no matter how hard it is, no matter how difficult it is, because there was another stat behind that stat that was really interesting. Most people that get divorced, they usually have thought about it for 2 years. 2 years before they finally take the action and pull the trigger. That's because this thing called marriage, we hang in a little longer, right? We give it a shot. We give it all we got. And see, I want you to marry your dream so that you will hang in there, stay committed, not quit, never give up, no matter what. That's where you need to be. So we talked about that this week. We also talked this week about aligning our gratitude with our goals. Too often we write down the things that we are thankful for. We're thankful for health. We're thankful for our families. We're thankful for the opportunities in our lives. We're thankful for God and for faith and all these things that we write down that we're thankful for. But then our goals are, I'm going to go out there and sell this many, this much, so on and so forth. Our goals don't align with what we're thankful for. And that's why a lot of people can't find joy or gratitude in their lives, because they're chasing things that don't bring them joy. That led us to a powerful statement that we said we need to spend our days seeking that which serves our heart. Spend our days seeking that which serves our heart. So powerful statement. It's been an incredible week. And now we're going to get to wrap it up with this guy. Are you kidding me? We're going to get to wrap up the week with the one and only Matt Manero. He's amazing. You guys are going to love him. Absolutely love him. But before I bring him in here, you know what we got to do. Here, let's do this right here. You know what we got to do. That's right. Let's dance a little bit. Let's do some dancing. Get the energy going, get the blood flowing, get everything pumping. For those of you that know, and those of you that don't know, this is the part of the show where I need you to hit that share button. That's right. I need you to hit that share button because I believe if we can change the way people start their day, it'll make a massive impact on this planet. I truly believe that. And sometimes all it takes for you to change the way somebody starts their day is for you to hit that share button. This is also the part of the show where I'm going to say good morning to you and you're going to say good morning to me. Whether you're watching live or you're watching on replay, say what's up. I'll say what's up back. How you doing, Carrie Lynn Carter? What's up, Beth Lucchese? How you doing, Josh? Nathaniel Banks is up in here. Jennifer Jaskell's watching this morning. How you doing, Heather Spurlock Venters? Terrell Lake's in the house. Tracy Shepard, Angela Heath, Brad Smith, Denny Rust, my man Mike Higdon. What's up, John Colton Bourne? How you doing, Laura Berman, Nathaniel Banks, Emily Goffler, Rhonda Wigglesworth, Dana Fishbein, Vicky Everett, Janelle Griego, Brad Smith. Are you kidding me? Jeremy Noling's up in here this morning. Gail Beecraft, Mike Hubbard, Cindy Conley Rakovich. Everybody's up in here. Of course, we've got Eric Willeroy, Ken Cook, Whitney Wells, and my man Matt Manero, who's waiting in the green room right now. He's dancing. Y'all just can't see him, but he's over there dancing. What's up, Rick Tamburino, Corey Mullins, Julie Lentini, Kyle Baines, and this is going to be an incredible episode of Hashtag Rise and Grind. I can feel it already. And again, I touched on it, but I need you to hit that share button. Listen, when we have guests on our show here on Hashtag Rise and Grind, there's nothing that we can do more than to honor them by sharing it out. They're sharing their time with us. Let's share our friends and our feeds with them. So if you normally don't share, today I need you to do so. Today I need you to do so. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking. Let's share this out. We'll get this rocking and rolling. I want to show you a quick little clip that I came across of Matt Manero in action, and then I'm going to bring him in here with you live. Check this out. Maybe. I got to work this. You guys know me and my technology. Doesn't always work, but I think I got it figured out. There we go. There we go.
The company is not the engine. We do not, as a company, provide greatness in your lives. You provide the greatness in your life. You are the engine that plugs into this nice body with great suspension, looks pretty, shiny, good fresh tires, ready to roll down the road, take you on the road trip, but you are the engine. And I start today with that reminder that we have built the platform, but the platform doesn't work without the people in it. And the platform won't give you what you want in your life until you make that mental shift to be the engine. You are the driver of your life. We as a company are just the platform. But without that engine sitting in it, it don't run. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't get you rich. It doesn't get you out of broke, and it doesn't fix your life unless you drop in as the engine and take that body someplace. And I remind everybody for 2019 to be different than 2018, you better figure out how to be a different engine. It is the results of many people at this table busting their ass for a long period of time and having tremendous success, plugging in their engine, making sacrifices, committing hard, doing stuff they didn't want to do for a long period of time, that now we have this car that other people can plug their engines into it. CFF exists to help ourselves and our clients reach our full potential through expertise, expectations, and gratitude. The only requirement there is that we can't be assholes about it. But don't think for a second that that requirement for you to push and for you to get your piece of the American pie goes away in commercial fleet. I want to be a place where people who got an engine want to plug it into our platform and they want to do something with it. You work in an environment with winners. You must win at the game of life. That includes you being a good parent, it means getting your ass in shape, it means getting your money right, it means giving back to the universe, it means being the best freaking version of yourself. That is the place you signed up for, and it will never go away.
Matt Manero, my
Yes,
man.
sir.
Yes, sir. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, sir?
Dude, I'm fired up. Are you kidding me? I already danced, done my whole deal, following your lead this morning, man. I'm all over it.
Dude, I love it. I love it. And I love that little segment right there where you were speaking to your team. And I love how you talk about it's about being the best version. We talk about that on this show every single day. And one of the things that we feel and we believe attributes to being the absolute best version of yourself is a powerful morning routine. So I want to start this interview off. I want to know, what does it it look like for Matt Manero? How do you wake up every day and get after it?
It is a morning routine for me, man. I get up about 4:15, 4:20 every morning, 6 days a week in the gym with my trainer. That starts at 5. It's about a 10-minute drive to the gym. So it's a cup of coffee in the car to the gym. 5 o'clock goes to 6 o'clock, comes back 6:20. I'm in the car with one of my 3 boys, but only 2 need rides to school. So I'm taking one of them to school. We're listening to music. We're talking about stuff. I'm feeding his brain. I'm telling him how freaking awesome he is,
Right?
how powerful he is, and that his job for the day is to find somebody in that school that needs a little bit of help, somebody that maybe got treated poorly. His superpower is to go find that kid and say, "You're with me today."
Dude, I love that. That's his superpower. Make him feel like a hero in doing so, making an impact in other people's lives. I love, and I want to make sure that nobody misses this. Matt just described his morning routine to us. Matt runs a massive company that's doing over $150 million a year. 4 companies, right? Overall, right?
At Attack and Conquer, we got 5, but
Okay.
It's big business and a number of them. But nothing gets in the way of my morning routine.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. You've got 5 companies, and yet you're taking your kid to school.
Yeah.
How incredible is that, man? I just told my crew here on Rise and Grind that one of my goals is to build a business to where I can eat breakfast and dinner with my family every single day. That's one of my goals. If I'm traveling, I'm on the road, I want to be able to bring them with me, right? The way that I'm grinding, don't get me wrong, I'm not afraid of a 14-hour grind, but I want that set up in a way where I can eat breakfast and dinner with my family every single day. Super, super important, man. Listen, man, I got to ask you, because I've really followed you more the last couple years, right? You kind of came out of the woodworks, popped out onto the scene, releasing books. We have some mutual friends like Grant Cardone, and we also have some mutual friends like Dupree Miller and Nina Madonia, and things like that, right? And so I've been kind of watching, and I'm like, holy smokes, this guy came not out of nowhere, because you had already built this massive company. But why did you decide now? And for those of you that don't know Matt's whole history and backstory, we only have 25-30 minutes on the morning show, right? So you can always go to mattmanero.com. You can learn all about his history and his story. I want to make sure we get some productive, applicable stuff out right now. I just want to learn since I've got your attention, Matt. So why 20 years into building massive business, why did you decide to all of a sudden come out and go all in with the things that you're doing now?
Yeah, I think it's such an important question. And when you were doing your intro this morning, it was awesome to hear you guys are talking about alignment. Everything that we do has to be in alignment with what we're supposed to be doing. And sometimes we don't know that. And the alignment finds us after the action, right? We take the action and then we begin to tweak it and move in the direction that we were always supposed to move in anyway. Mm-hmm. And I think this is what happened. I don't think my purpose on life was to build businesses. I think my purpose on life was actually to help other people build businesses through the suffering that I went through. Now I can teach them to not have to go through that suffering, the suffering that my family went through as well. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. You're talking about you want to be home in the morning and in the evening. I think that's an incredible alignment, but there's no easy money until you get through hard money.
That's right. That's right.
And most people won't go through the hard money. They won't miss the breakfasts and the dinners, games, and the date nights. And to tell you the truth, Glenn, I did it. I did it. I missed so many of those.
Sure. That's
why you want to build the business that gives you that luxury, because you missed so many of those too.
That's right, man.
And the thing of why I'm doing what I'm doing is I don't get passionate about building a business. I get passionate about helping other people avoid the pain that I had to go through to build my business. That's what fires me up. So that got me to do it. And then of course we had a death in the family where we lost my brother-in-law, my beloved wife Rocky's only brother John. He died a couple years ago at 46, and he left a wife and 4 kids. He left them with no health insurance, no life insurance, and $100 in the bank.
Yeesh.
And it was so devastating for us because literally you could not have taken a worse person from my wife, Glenn. They were thick as thieves as brother and sister. And I mean it, man. Her dad was kind of a turd. Brother stepped in and he was that person in her life.
Right.
Have him taken from her so early was so painful for our family. And then when you added the money piece into it, so it just got me thinking, right? How is it that this guy busted his ass for 25 years and he doesn't have anything to show for it? And yet, you know, we busted our ass for 25 years and we're going to fix all their financial problems, right?
Right.
And it just got me thinking, and it got me writing, and it got me exploring and searching and wondering why, you know, how big of a problem is this? And then that led to the book, You Need More Money. And it kind of also led me on this path of, you know, what can I do to help people wake up to the fact that, you know, time is not your friend, man. It marches on, and you better get your money situation right, because really, why can't you be that rich uncle?
Right.
He's got one.
Right.
Why can't it be you? Why can't you be the person that drops in that starts to fix the air conditioning units at grandma's house instead of her sitting in 95-degree weather? Or why can't you be the one that goes and buys the new car for somebody, or helps the kid go to the fancy school or get the fancy lessons because you sense they have potential and superpower? Why can't you be the one that writes those freaking checks? Because those are the greatest checks I've ever been able to write. Not the ones that do the kitchen or what goes in the garage. The shit that says, dude, I think you got something. Let me point you in that direction.
Right.
All it takes is this check. I'll point you in that direction. And the reason it makes me so crazy is because I didn't have anybody that did that for me. Glenn, I think I should be 10 times more successful if when I was younger, my old man or a coach or my uncle or a buddy's dad said, Manero, I see something in you, man. This is your direction. Nobody did that for me, man. I was lost for so freaking long.
Right.
Buried in this head cheese and this journey. And I happened to get lucky and got pointed in this direction of business, and it worked out. There was some DNA connection there, right? Sell, go sell, get paid, build something. It was pretty easy. 2 + 2 made 4 for me, right?
Right.
But what I missed was really what the frick was I called for? Because nobody said, you know what, Manero? I can see the field from 30,000 feet, man. I think I could tap you in this direction. I was craving for that the whole damn life. Now I'm back to a lot of people.
It's incredible, man. That's incredible. I love your energy. I love your passion. And one of the things that I get so excited when I get to interview people, you know, like yourself, and I get engaged, and I'm trying to take notes at the same time I'm trying to interview. I'm trying to run a show. I'm like the worst when it comes to that. But there's so many nuggets that you just dropped just in the first few minutes of this interview. There's so many nuggets. You know, no easy money without the hard money, right? I think that's super important. There's sacrifices that we have to make along the way to get to a point where we can do the things, right? You're right. I put in 20 years in the auto industry, right? I missed the ball games. I missed the recitals. I did a lot of that. And now I'm creating in a way where I don't have to now, but I've earned it. I've earned it.
Yeah.
I had to put in the work. So I totally get that. And then I also love being that uncle. Why not? We all have that uncle. Right? My uncle Rick, right? He was really not my uncle. I just called him my uncle Rick because he was my cousin's uncle, and he would always show up at the house on Christmas with these awesome gifts for all of the kids. And so I wanted him to be my uncle because he gave awesome gifts, right? Right? But why can't you be that one, the one that comes in and saves the day? And then also in that, what you just shared with us is some deep truth. some really deep truth. Time is not on our side. Time is not our friend. We don't know when we're going to go. We don't know the pain and the struggle that those we leave behind are going to have to go through if we don't get it right and get it right now, right? We got to get our money right and get our money right now. Like it, don't like it, love it, don't love it, spiritual, not spiritual, whatever. The world doesn't revolve without money. Period.
Yeah.
So we've got to get it right. And that's a discussion we have to have. So I'm going to ask you right here, since we've got your time this morning, number one money tip. Right off the back, what's the number one money tip that we need to know to get our money right?
I'm so glad you asked, because I love giving tangible takeaways, right? Not just esoterical stuff. The number one thing everybody's got to do is get their insurance right. Listen, my brother-in-law died with no insurance. He had no life insurance and no health insurance. If my brother-in-law could have had, for $50 a month, Glenn, he could have had probably a $250,000 term life insurance policy for $50 a month. Now, don't forget, the kids all had iPhones and they had a couple Vineyard Vine shirts, right? There was fuel in the car. $50 a month.
One tank of gas.
One tank of gas would have changed everything if he knew, because he was ready to go meet his maker, baby. I mean, he was saved.
Okay.
He was good with it.
Good, right?
What he wasn't good with was the fact that he was leaving his family with nothing. That's what created so much guilt. It was never about, hey, I'm going to die. It was, I'm ready to die. I just can't believe I left my family with nothing.
Yeah, what an awful feeling.
Number one tip of the day, Google term life insurance policy, your local city, and buy as much of it as you possibly can. The younger you are, the cheaper it is. I got a guy in my office. He's 21 years old. I just bought $250,000 for $17 a month.
Wow.
Because here's what happens, dude. If you don't have much money, you can hedge your brokenness with insurance. Think about it. Your wife is saying, hey, baby, we had the pain. Where's the gain? You told me it was coming, right, baby? I mean, you told me it was worth the sacrifice. And maybe the business isn't firing off yet. Right? It's not there. It's not producing you. But you get to come home to her or him and say, hey, baby, I took care of our family today. I got us a $500,000, $250,000, $1 million life insurance policy so that if something happens to me, you and the boys are protected. Number one takeaway to get your money right, hedge your brokenness with insurance.
Wow, man. I did not expect you to go in that direction, and I'm so glad you did. It is a simple, very simple takeaway, and it's something that we always put on the back burner, right? We're like, well, we'll do that later. We'll do that at another time. We can't afford that right now. You can't afford not to, is the reality of that situation. I've stacked up. I'm definitely worth more dead than I am alive, right? And so my wife can rest assured, my wife and my 7 children can rest assured. But how about that? How about walking into your spouse saying, hey, I did something selfless today. I did something to take care of you and our family for a long time to come. No matter what happens, you're going to be safe. You're going to be secure. Man, what a feeling that's got to be able to offer that to your spouse. Beautiful. I love that start. So let me ask you another question. As I get more money and as you've gotten more money, right? I think that we all agree that it's important to like serve others, right? You were saying that here in the last 2 years, you've felt even, or not actually, I guess it's been, you wrote your first book in 2015. So it's been a few years, but you felt like you were more than just a businessman, but you needed to go out and help and serve others. So how do you use your wealth? Right? Because a lot of times people don't like to talk about money and serving and all that in the same sentence. How do you leverage and use your wealth to serve people, to serve more people?
Yeah, look, I mean, I do use business to minister. And when I mean minister, it's not ministering the word of God, even though I am a believer, Christian. I use the business to minister opportunity and potential. Dude, I hire a lot of people, and I don't do much of the hiring anymore. We have an executive management team that runs the businesses, which is a huge takeaway for for people in the audience that the faster you can build this team of people that enhances your success, the faster you will be successful. Most entrepreneurs are on an island, Glenn, right? They're Superman or Superwoman. I must do everything. You'll screw it.
No doubt.
Right? You don't know what you're doing the way I do. Do you know this place, right? We need to get away from that as fast as possible, dude.
I agree.
That is absolutely not a recipe for success.
Right.
It took me a long time to figure that out.
Delegate.
And delegate, set expectations.
That's right.
And empower.
That's right.
Make people that work for you free to make mistakes, encourage them to make mistakes, encourage them to grow and become part of this bigger picture. Because at the end of the day, dude, that's what our people want. They actually want to be challenged.
Mm-hmm.
It's this terrible version of employees. The business is the reflection of the owner. If your employees aren't doing what you want, it's not their fault. It's your fault.
No doubt.
The business is the reflection of the owner. Jacked up businesses are because the owner is jacked up. And so, you know, I kind of divert a little bit. Here's my point. I have a lot of people in my office who started a lot like me.
Mm-hmm.
Coming to my office, dude, it's an extremely diverse environment. I encourage that. I mean, probably our most pedigreed guy was captain of his football team at Rice. Rice is like the
right.
South here in Texas, right?
Yes.
He's probably our most pedigreed guy, but yet our number one sales guy has a 2-year associate's degree. I couldn't tell you what it's in. Had no idea how he did in school. And, you know, he's a 7-figure a year personal income earner. So I use the business to minister opportunity and potential. And if I send somebody, dude, you're as good as getting my recommendation to get hired. I mean, I want to we're almost tripling the size of our offices. We'll move in December 15th for the sole purpose to hire more people, to give them the opportunity that this business gave me and many others. Man. That's the purpose of the business now. It ain't to finance more trucks. That's the method.
Sure.
Purpose
Sure.
is to give more people this opportunity.
I love that, man.
Entrepreneurship, dude.
Minister opportunity. So the bigger you build, the more you build, the more dollars you can generate, the more opportunities that you can create for others. That's the key, right? That's what it's all about. Build to where we can make an impact in other people's lives. That's super, super strong.
Hey, Glenn, for me, that's it. But you got to remember, and this is fair. This is unrealistic for some people. I'm on the other side of it now. For somebody who's just getting going and coming up, dude, you got to get your piece of the pie.
Yeah.
Like, I think a lot of people spend a lot of time trying to help a lot of other people. Dude, you need to make sure you help yourself, and therefore you help your spouse and you help your children and maybe mama and a few other people that need a little help before you go out and start hugging trees and saving the world, right? I'm on the other side of it, so it's easier a little bit for me to say.
Sure.
But I spent 18 years rising and grinding and how are we going to survive?
Right.
You know, and I mean, the first 10 were hand and mouth, dude. I'm talking taking $50 checks every day from Commercial Fleet's bank account and racing to the bank where I had my personal bank account and putting that money in and saying, please hope these checks clear. Right. Dude, I did it for years. So I know everybody's like, yeah, sounds good, man. But, you know, I got to make payroll on Friday. Dude, I've been there.
Right. You got to, and you got to build that foundation first, right? We got to have a strong trunk if we're going to start branching out and reaching out, right? We got to have a strong trunk. Otherwise the tree will fall down. It will fall over. It won't work. Listen, this show goes by super, super fast, and we try to respect people's morning routines because I know how valuable and important they are. So for those of you that have to go, I understand. Feel free to hop out. I'm going to stick with Matt here for about 2 or 3 more questions. So you're welcome to stay, though. You know, if you're watching live and you're in the middle of your routine, you're in the middle of working out or whatever, feel free to hop out. You're not going to hurt my feelings. I get it. Just make sure you share before you do. But for those of you that that want to stick around for a little bit, I am going to do about 2 or 3 more questions with Matt, and then I'll let you get on the road. Matt, so I'm watching you the last couple of years. Obviously, I didn't know you before that. So I'm watching you the last couple of years. And what I would like to know, so you built your business, you did incredible there. Then you kind of branched out into this new world where you're writing books and you're speaking and you're podcasting and you're doing all of those things. So in the last couple of years, just in the last couple of years, what is maybe 1 or 2 things that you did wrong and 1 or 2 things that you think you did right, so that I can put them down in my notes so I can avoid that as I'm building over the next couple of years, and I can maybe fast forward a little bit of my track as well. Very selfish question right here, right? We want to avoid the pitfalls and speed up the success. So what's something you did wrong and something you did right?
I think the first thing I did right was gain perspective on where I am with my children, right? My oldest is a senior in high school. I think 3-4 years ago, it really had that wake up call, which was, boy, this thing's going by fast. I better make sure the relationship with these 3 boys is tight and strong and powerful, because, people think that, when they go off to college is when is when it gets difficult. No, dude, it's when they get their license that it gets difficult.
Yeah, man.
It's when they're not, they don't want to be home as much when they don't have.
They're no longer tethered. They're no longer tied to a rope.
So it's like when they're 16, they're out,
right.
So, I spent a lot of time making sure that I was around and present. I also got my health back, which was really important to me. My business stole my health, dude. I ballooned up to 331 pounds at the peak.
Wow.
And now health and fitness is a really, really important element of what I do. And Glenn, that's because of something a trainer once told me. He said, "You're out of integrity weight." And I said, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Dude, until the brain believes what's going on with your body, you don't have alignment, man. You don't have integrity. You're just telling your brain these lies to justify your fatness."
Wow.
And that was very, very powerful for me. And it was kind of an emotional moment, because he was right? Look, when you're 331 pounds like I was, it doesn't matter how fancy the suit is. You can't fake fit. So you walk into that meeting and you're 331 and you're like, yeah, listen, it's a new suit, but they won't see, so they can't see my fatness. No, dude, everybody in the room sees your fatness and they judge you. And unfortunately, they don't judge you positively.
Right.
They judge you as soft. They judge you as weak. They judge you as undisciplined. And you have to determine, is that correct or not? Mm-hmm. For me at 331, it was correct. How could I have been disciplined at 331?
Right.
Was mentally disciplined, but I was out of alignment.
Sure.
So I got back. What have I done wrong? Without question, I used past experiences to determine future outcomes.
Yes.
We can outgrow our experiences. Mm-hmm. I used to say zebras can't change their stripes. And I'm living proof that is not true anymore. Mm-hmm. And it's super emotional when I talk about it, because I am not the same person. And if you watch some of the videos, I left them all up on YouTube, but you can watch some of those same videos, those morning scrum videos, where I was a very, very, very tough and nasty guy to work for. And I'm not that guy anymore. And I'm a collaborative person. I need teamwork. I need the people around me to want to be around me, not to be afraid. And so I used to think that the past equaled the future, and it's just not true. Everything can be new, dude. And by the way, that works positive and negative, Glenn.
That's right.
The good stuff, the stuff you used to win at, you can start losing at. But certainly the stuff that you used to lose at, you can start winning at. And that came to me, by the way, from my COO, who said to me, when in the meetings and stuff like that, you really should stop telling those old stories. She's like, those old stories are not who we are anymore. It's like, it's nice to hear, how tough it was and all that. She's like, but people want to hear where they can go here, not where you've been and what you've done to help it make it easier for them.
Right. Right.
Huge eye-opening moment for me. She was basically saying, dude, we don't want to hear about the 5-mile uphill barefoot in the snow story anymore, man. Tell us where you're going to take us.
That's right, man. That's right. That's strong. And I agree. I agree with all of that. Sometimes now when I'm on stage, that's kind of where I'll start. I'll be like, look, the guy I was before can't help you. The guy I was before can't help. So yes, at one point I did drugs. I was homeless. I tried to kill myself. I dealt with depression. I was broke. Okay, good. Now you know my past. Now this guy right here standing in front of you, I can now help you. Let me help you. Let me show you how we move forward, right? Because I'm with you. I used to get stuck telling the stories, thinking that was where my value was for other people. But that's not that's not it. And and the other thing that you said there too, as far as not allowing your past measurables to determine the future measurables, I think that's huge. One thing I've noticed in the automotive industry is everyone's expectations that they set and the goals that they set tend to be based on what they did before. And I'm like, why are you setting your goals based on what you did before? What you did before has absolutely nothing to do with what you can do in the future. Nothing. It's all a mindset limiter, right? When we run into that powerful stuff, dude, I could talk to you forever. I could really, literally talk to you forever. I need to respect your time too, as well this morning. So I'm going to do two questions left and then we're done. Fair enough. You got time for 2 more?
Buddy, I have plenty of time.
All right, cool. Obviously, you're at a high level now, a high level in business. You've earned it, so on and so forth. If I am just getting going, somebody's watching here right now. They're just getting rock and rolling. They're just thinking about creating business, so on and so forth. Like, where do they start? What do you think is the most important starting point?
Yeah, the most important starting point for me, and I talk about this in the book, You Need More Money, is you got to know your platform. Are you in the right platform? What's the platform? Some people call it space. Some people call it industry. I call it platform. Does this career path, business that you're about to go into make sense? Well, how do you know it makes sense? There must be someone in it that you can get your hands on who's leading the life that you want. So let's talk about the car business, for example, right? Because that was the business that my brother-in-law was in. Who do most people aspire to when you get on the floor to start selling? Probably the general manager, right?
Right.
Well, you need to analyze that person's life. Is that the life that you want? Maybe it is because they're only working 50 or 60 hours and you're working 80.
Right, no doubt.
That's positive. You and I both know a lot of those guys. That's still a tough life. The car business is a challenging life for family time, freedom, that sort of stuff. So, is that the right platform that you want to go into? For some, it's amazing. Some people love the thrill, right? It's an addictive thrill. There's the up, close, tomorrow we'll do the same thing. It's very addictive business like that.
Right.
But other things are, let's say, for example, if I want to go into the insurance business, right? We know it's a good platform. There's money to be made in it, but can you tap into somebody who's really killing it? Can you get your hands on the $1 million a year producer and learn from them? That's the big challenge. So I would tell everybody, double check your platform, because a lot of people, Glenn, are not in the right platform.
Sure.
It just doesn't align with who they are, what their superpowers and their skill sets are.
Yeah, got it.
Also tell people, do a personality test. And I know this sounds simple. Know who the hell you are.
That's right.
We live by them in my office. Nobody even gets an interview with us until we have your personality test. We pay for it.
Yep.
And we even put, and we review them all the time, but before we go into a big meeting, we put the personality tests on the conference table so everybody gets to see who everybody is as a refresher course. Because if I come at I'm a high A, if I come at my controller who's a high D, low A, in other words, his attention to detail is huge and his ambition is low.
Right.
That's what I want for your controller, by the way.
Absolutely, 100%.
But if I come, running buckshot over him, he's not going to respond very well.
That's right.
I'm going to shut him down.
Right.
So know who you are, understand your platform. Those would be the 2 things that I would challenge. The last thing I would say is don't believe the silliness on social that tells you that you're a loser because you work for somebody else.
That's right.
It's just not true. Dude, the number one guy, number 6, 7, 8 guys in my office are like, I got the greatest job on the planet.
Yeah. Yeah.
I come in at 8:30. I leave at whatever time I want. I can wear whatever I want. I make high 6 figures, and I don't have to worry about IT, marketing, human resources, anything. There's something very powerful about being the number 1 or number 2 player in your company as an intrapreneur versus saying that that's not good enough. I need to go be the entrepreneur.
Amen to that, bro. Amen to that. That's strong. I spent 20 years being the 2 guy, and I loved it. And my goodness, it was easy compared to what I do now. Golly, now I've got all the liability, all the risk, man. I gotta all that stuff. Before I just went to a building and did my job and got paid, and it was awesome. So yeah, I'm 100% with you. Just, I'm kidding a little bit. I love what I'm doing now too, because I get to serve more people, but there's a lot of truth to that. All right, listen, we're gonna wrap this up, but here's what we're gonna do. Last thing I need to do is I'm gonna put you up on top of a mountain real quick, okay? Just pretend you're up on top of a mountain and all of civilization is down there and they're looking up at you and they're cheering. They're like, Manero, 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 Manero. Everybody's cheering, right? And they're cheering for you. And you have 2 minutes. They hand you a mic and you've got 2 minutes to drop some piece of practical wisdom on them, something that they can take away and apply in their life today, this week, this month, this year. What are you going to tell them?
Oh, dude, that's a wild question. Like when you're saying it, I go back to like medieval times. Some people feel like, everybody's in suits or something. I'm like, in togas and there's no social media in the vision I just had.
Right.
I tell you, man, here's what I would tell people, that the greatest power you have is to be somebody that helps the underdog. Mm-hmm. That to me is I want to be that person that I know for sure was not in my life. I want to be that person that senses greatness in someone else and has an influence and says, you don't know what you should do. And I'm not 100% certain about it, but this is what I think you should move. This is a direction I think you should move in, because Glenn, I have a superpower to see winners. And, I tell my oldest son, Johnny Boy, I said, when his buddies are over here, because we built this house for my children, right? I'm in our game room here, which is specifically built for my children. It has its own entrance and it's got the pool table and the big, all that stuff. And I got a sport court out there. I want the kids here with their friends. Right.
Yep.
And when those kids come over, I invariably, every single one of them, I grab them, and every time they're over here, and I say, man, I have a superpower to see winners. Here's what you're going to do in your life. You're going to be the entrepreneur. Dude, you're going to be the teacher. You're going to be the coach. I give these guys some guidance. I point them in a little bit of a freaking direction. I hope I'm not wrong about it, because I think I do have a superpower to tell somebody where they want to go. Sure. But dude, I would tell you and those people from the mountain high, I would say, be that person that gets remembered, because when they were 14, 15, 16, you gave them a piece of advice that put them on a path that they could never envision for themselves, so that when they're 60 and you're 80, you're the person they credit. Because when I look at my life, dude, I cannot credit one person for doing that for me. Not one. Mm-hmm. You know that story, man? You got anybody in your life, Glenn, that you would say, oh man, this Professor such and such pointed me. Do you have that person that you can say, this guy hit me at the right time and I was going zig and he took me zag?
I do now. Yes, I do. Mm-hmm. I didn't when I was young, but 10 years ago, 10 years ago, I got steered in the right direction. The owner of the dealership, Josh Cummins, he decided that he saw something in me that I didn't necessarily see. And he pointed me in a direction, and I mean, here's where I am now. But prior to that, yeah, I didn't have that, man.
So look at the sacrifice he made. He took a highly talented guy who was producing a key component to the success of that dealership, but he saw more for you, for your path, did for himself or for the dealership, and he had the courage to talk to you and point you in that direction. Dude, that to me is living.
Yeah, man.
Dude, when you can see that in others and you have the courage to pull the trigger and sacrifice a little of your own success for their success, dude, that's how I want to be remembered.
That's strong, dude. I love it, man. I love it. Matt, listen, man, obviously you are this incredible human being, clearly uniquely made by the God of the universe, the God who made everything, made you to be the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. And you're out there living it every day. You're making these powerful decisions that are making an impact on your friends, on your family members, on your coworkers. And this morning you've made an impact on me and all of my friends here on #Rise and Grind. And we stinking love you for it, man. I do. I absolutely stinking love you. Thank you so much for being on our show today. If you'll hang tight in the green room here just a second, I'm going to say goodbye to them. But thank you so much for being on here, Matt. Man, it's been great.
Dude, my pleasure, Glenn. I loved it.
Awesome. Hang tight just a second, and I'm going to say goodbye to them. Wow, 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 wow is about all I can say. I was so excited to spend some time with Matt Manero. Now I'm even more jacked up. Listen, please pour into him. Follow Matt Manero. Click on his name, follow him, go to his website, follow him. This is a guy that we want in our lives. This is a guy that you're going to want in your circle. This is a guy that you want in your corner. There's so many things that we can learn. Buy his books, check out his courses, all of that stuff. Follow, and blow him up today. Would you do it? He's in the green room. He can hear me. Maybe he's not paying attention. Just blow him up, dude. Blow him up, send him messages, encourage him, thank him for being on our show. And of course, as I said earlier, one way that you can truly honor our guests who take time out of their busy lives and schedules to spend time with us is just by hitting that share button. It's a simple thing that you can do to get the message out to as many people as humanly possible. Listen, I want you to have an incredible day today. I hope you enjoyed this week. It's been an incredible series. And most importantly, is I want you to have an amazing, phenomenal weekend going forward. So if you need, which I don't know why you would need any more of my videos after watching this one, but if you need more videos like this, you can go to GlennLundy.com. If you need some Rise and Grind gear so that you can wear it proudly, your armor, then go to GlennLundy.com. But most importantly, would you please join me again here Monday morning at 5:30 a.m. We're going to do this all over again on #Rise and Grind.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Stay woke, stay woke, stay woke, stay woke. #Rise and Grind, #Rise and Grind.